Okay, morning everyone. Welcome to day one of the third week of the Return to Swimming program for Guildford City. Hope you all had a good weekend and hope you are feeling fresher than normal, the extra hour in bed. New time for these videos. If anyone doesn't know yet, Alex, make sure they know 9 o'clock now for the senior video. So we're going to get going with the usual warm-up with 2 minutes of fly skipping. 2, 1, go. And I'll talk through all the changes as we get to them. Just get the monitor up. So you're halfway through the first round of skipping. And stop. A break. One more round. Don't know why I keep closing the window. 2, 1, go. A little bit longer. At least for those watching, how you doing, Lee? Leave that there. So, 6 toes to press to sit back. The hands narrow and turn your thumbs up as you sit back. See how you doing, Tegan? Just going to read them as they appear. 6 of those into angry cat, happy cat. Don't know why I'm standing for that. Let's hit your hips back. Round your back as much as you possibly can. Push your hands down to the floor. Breathe out at the top. And then go walk out into downward dog. So one movement. Press up position. And push your hands down like you're doing a wall walk when you go into that downward dog. Bend your knees if you have to. Especially with downward dog, you're prioritising thoracic extension, not hamstring mobility. After 6 of those, we're then going prone arm recoveries. Face down, 2 in each position. Okay, clench your fists as you go through as well. That's an OIT. Start with your hands at your hip, work overhead, go out, and then go wide. But just keep your wrist and your elbow as high off the floor as you possibly can, walking through. Then you've got reverse plank circuit. So you're going to walk and march with an overhead reach. In, 2, 1, go. Start reverse plank. 1 foot up. Next foot. One hand overhead, then other hand up. So push your hips high, reach. So almost like thread the needle type action from a reverse plank. So make sure every time you take your foot off the floor, your hips don't drop. You might have to spread your feet, but you're trying to create as much rotation here as you possibly can, and then relax. So a lot of shoulder stability, a lot of upper back mobility, hip stability, and lower back mobility. Finish off first part of the warm-up with clap press ups. Forward them, build the height. If you can't leave the ground, just ignore the clap bit. So push up like that. Okay, so prep sets. We've added in this extra little bit of a circuit before you start the main body. So it's a secondary raise to the session. Get your heart rate really high. We're going to start building the volume and some key movements that are going to help us with the stroke that's been allocated to that day. So for fly today, we're going to go 3 times through, 20 seconds of skipping with arm swing. So normal skipping, full arm swing overhead, full range of motion at the shoulder, into leg lowers 5 times, and then squats. There's another extra bit added to the first round of every main set, but I'll explain that when we get to it. So start off then. Should take a minute to go through each one for 3 minutes total. 3 seconds per rep. So skipping with arm swing in 2, 1, go. Okay, and relax. 5 leg lowers. 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 2, 3. 3. 2, 3. 2, 3. And then squats. 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So roughly 3 sets, so that's 59 seconds. Straight back in. Make sure I don't take anything out. Okay, and then into leg lowers again. 2, 3. So make sure you're counting. Don't rush through every rep, because it's the time as well as the exercise itself that's going to give you the adaptation. So you get a bit of extra activation. And squats. And realistically, no rest in between, except the time it takes you to get to the next position. So then skipping again. So I always make sure your warm-up area is clear. Stop. Leg lowers. And then squats to finish off. And stop. Right, so grab a drink while I talk through the main body. So dips to start. Both sides of the equation are 45 on 10 off. So dips, lateral lunges with the slider or without, inverted row, decline press up, and then squat. So throughout the week, whichever exercise finishes the prep circuit, you'll do again at the end of round 1, but with an additional rep. So after this we'll do 6, end of round 2 we'll do 7, and then before we have the halftime break, you'll do 8 squats. And that's the same all the way through. So just follow along, should make sense. We're going to go straight in with dips. In 2, 1, go. 45 on, 10 off. So make sure you're holding that happy cat position with your spine, the bottom of every rep. I check myself because I'm the one guiltiest of this. Yep, so as you get to the bottom, really start to think about tilting your pelvis the other way. And stop. So 10 seconds, you're going into lateral lunge. In 2, 1, go. So make sure you don't lean your body to the other side. Use the wall if you have to. That was an overly ambitious first rep. And try not to turn your foot either. So even I'm doing it now to get more range. See, if you turn your foot to the side, it's much easier. But it's not going to work as effectively. So 10 more seconds, feet pointing forwards the whole time. 2, 1, relax. Side on view for the other leg. In 2, 1, go. Make sure you keep your shoulders set as well. So you're basically letting the range of motion in your hip dictate the depth of the lunge. So this side feels like it's stretching more. It's actually going a bit better, I think. As long as you don't start to lean forward. So if you want more range, do that. But it doesn't work in the same way. Relax. So you're trying to develop strength and mobility in your groin muscles, and you don't get that by hinging forward. Into inverted row. In 2, 1, go. So you want explosive reps today to contrast your Saturday slow reps. Try to make everyone as explosive as you possibly can. You don't have to do the dramatic hand clasping. It just demonstrates it more effectively on the video. And stop. Into decline push-ups. So elevated surface, feet up behind you. In 2, 1, go. So I'm graduating from books. Check my phone. Oh, Mr. Dragonflag's watching. Okay, I'll do. So 15 seconds left. Just gonna make sure I'm still on the camera. And stop. And into squats. 3, 2, 1. Go. Same tempo. So it's not full round. It's the same tempo as the prep set. There's 6 squats, 3 seconds apiece. $18. And rest. So now you're in 20 seconds rest. Next round we'll do 7 squats at 3 seconds apiece, and then 8. Just to build the volume up gradually. And going back into dips. So 3, 2, 1, go. So you can change your hand position to alter the activation of your muscles slightly. Just make sure it's even on both sides. So I tend to just go hands touching my sides and the hands at the edge of the table. And relax. Then you're into lateral lunges again. Two, 1, go. Hopefully you find the second and third rounds easier. Much of a delay today. And last couple of reps. And stop. I'm going to have to start using the wall because I keep cheating. So, swapping sides. In 2, 1, go. So if you haven't got a slider, use a towel if you're on laminate. My feet keep cheating. This Mums is actually doing me a favour. So no matter what you do with this, if you find you're getting more range, double check your foot position and relax. So if you start getting further because your foot's turning, it's not because your groin's getting more comfortable with that position. Before you go back in the pull, especially breaststroke, because you're going to want to make sure that your groin is strong and supple. So, inverted row, 2, 1, go. Make sure your elbows keep pointing down to the ground the whole time as you're pulling. Go single leg if you haven't already today. 5 seconds left. And then relax. moving to decline. 2, 1, go. Just make sure that your shins are clearing the edge of any surface that you're using. I wouldn't recommend going feet on the edge of a chair in case it rocks backwards. And stop. Into your squats again. 7 this time. 3, 2, 1, go. Two, 3, 2. So no rest at the top. So make sure you finish every rep. And stop. 20 seconds rest into round 3. And start with dips again. In 2, 1, go. Check my posture. 15 seconds left. That's better. Okay, last few seconds. Time for 2 more reps. Relax. Last one, lunge. 2, 1, go. With every round of these, you realistically want to start a bit more shallow than before, just to see if it feels more comfortable. So don't push the depth on every single rep. Ideal world, you want to stay bolt upright, and then recover your foot by pushing down with one and pulling in with the other one. Especially as you start to get tired, and stop. So you might find you get more range because you're getting more mobile, but if you're too tired, you're going to cheat somehow. 2, 1, go. So keep upright, use a wall if you have to. So at the exact same time, think about the timing of the contraction as well. 1 down, 1 in. And stop. That was good till I turned my foot. So they seem like really minor things, but for everyone watching these videos, it makes a big difference. Into inverted row. 2, 1, go. Think of an elbow position, keep it under the table or down to the ground, and then set your shoulder blades down towards your hips when you hold at the top. So at the top of everyone, don't pull your chin forward, get your shoulders down towards your feet, and stop. Decline press ups, and the squats to finish. In 2, 1, go. Chris Finch is watching with me apparently. Good on you, Chris. So make sure with the decline, sorry, you don't start to drop your ribs to get down to the ground. So even though your feet are up behind you, keep your ribs pulled down a level with your hips. Just gonna shut the leg up a bit better here. Relax. And then we'll go into squats. So you've got 8 to do this time. 2, 1, go. Last one. And relax. 1 minute break. So moving into part 2 then, core circuit. So you're 45 seconds on, 10 seconds off of sit-ups, shoulder taps, side plank, split between both sides, forearm plank march, and then flutter kick. So adjust your body for this one. Make sure you're taking drinks. If you need any adaptations, let me know now. Then get ready. So we're going to start the sit-ups. In 3, 2, 1, go. Put it this way I can see both on the screen. Oh, thought I was being clever. Still working on sit-ups. Oh, that's annoying. Right. Straight back on the sit-up. Make sure you pull using your lower abs, don't use your hip flexors. And stop. 10 off into shoulder taps. In 2, 1, go. Make sure when you create stability, so when you're on one hand, pull your shoulder blade, push through your hand, but keep it pulled down towards your feet. So you want to avoid punching to get stability. Push down so your shoulders are away from your ears, and then switch. And relax. Shoulder taps then into side plank. So 20 seconds on each side. In 3, 2, 1, go. So wrist under shoulder. Feet on top of each other. And switch. Last couple of seconds, and stop. Side plank, moving to forearm plank march. In 2, 1, go. So forearm plank, alternate lifting your feet off the floor. And make sure they don't come up higher than your hips. So just a little raise. Keep your core engaged in the front. And then head on V. So depending on the perspective of the camera, you should be able to see my heels coming over my head. 2, 1, relax. And flutter kick to finish off. In 2, 1, go. So keep checking the lower back position. Keep your legs relaxed. At the same time, so don't just point your toes like a wind-up toy. Should always double check your back position. And 2, 1, relax. 20 seconds break, and you're back to the start again. Should get the matter on me. But if anyone needs alternatives, just let me know. We're back into sit-ups in 3, 2, 1, go. See if I can do it without the sofa. Not with that round on my back. It's better off pin your feet if you can. Concentrate on that straight back. Just using your core muscles. And not your hip flexors. And stop. Into shoulder taps. But bear in mind, you're not going to be able to support your feet when you're poolside anyway, so now's a good chance to really hammer posture. 2, 1, go. So shoulders set the whole time through, down towards your feet. Because that way it means your rotator cuff can support your shoulder. So even on side plank, get them set down, as well as concentrating on pushing. Spread your feet for a bit more extra stability. Concentrate on your core, and then add a foam roll or two if you want. And relax. So foam roller always sucks because you end up squeezing harder even without trying. Side plank in 2, 1, go. And then switch sides. So even with this, pull your shoulder down towards your hips and drive the heel of your hand into the ground. And stop. into forearm plank march. 2, 1, go. So you can use a roller for this one as well. You're just going to make sure that if you start to arch your back or over kick, the roller's going to start to wobble around. And stop. So make sure you don't round your upper back. I'll start doing it too. I get why people do it now. So the whole time you're in that position, try and close the gap between your shoulder blades there. Flutter kick in 2, 1, go. So you can go with smaller kicks, just pay extra attention to your lower back. With 10 seconds left, change the kick if you can't hold your back position, and stop. One more 20-second break, one more round, and then we're done. So it's going to be more important than ever to start prioritising your mobility stuff. So don't disappear when the session finishes, get your mobility work done so you recover more effectively. 2, 1, sit up. In 15 seconds, start taking breaks and concentrate on your eccentric. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just make sure you don't feel it in your hips or lower back. If you do, shorten it up a little bit. And stop. Shoulder taps next. In 2, 1, go. So make sure that your shoulders don't pay attention to making sure your shoulders don't start to change position every time you switch sides. So if you find that you hunch more on one than the other, just spend some time in a press up plank and relax so that you know there's an even sensation on both sides. Then you're going into side plank in 2, 1, go. And switch sides. Make sure there's a perfect line between your heel of your hand and your ankles and your hips. So if you're ever in doubt, just try and drop your hips back and then push them straight forward again and stop. Side plank and then going forearm plank march In 2, 1, go. That's worse. If you can't, same thing, if your shoulders feel like they're starting to hunch to create stability for the forearm plank, just regress it into a normal forearm plank. Make sure your shoulders stay over the top of your elbows. And stop. So the whole time through that, squeeze your hips hard and push your heels away from your head. Finish on flutter kick in 2, 1, go. Out all the exercises, forearm plank's probably the hardest one to concentrate on your lower back. But keep readjusting, keep checking, even if you have to break it down. It's just easier to correct when you're on your back anyway. Okay, last 10 seconds of the session. And stop. And that's it. It's mobility time. Again, we're making assumptions about your fitness, so when we get back, the expectation is going to be that everyone's mobility on these stretches is world class. So grab your roller. We're readjusting it, so you're doing 3 of these now, and we'll start doing some combinations so you know what to do when you haven't got equipment. So foam roll, quads. To cover the entire muscle. 30 seconds, then swap over. Oh, what? More getting action on this in the airport. I would have paid money to see you doing the skip with arm swing in the middle of the terminal. And switch sides. Wait, no, don't switch sides, switch muscle. So we're going hamstring, just double check that block hamstring stretch. So start using this as your checkpoint. That was a lot better this morning. Split stance, force your back straight. See how they both are before you do the hamstring floss. Some of your hamstrings being stretched differently in that when you do a lying stretch like raise on the floor. So 30 on each, flossing your ankle away from you. Switch sides, start pulling the roller up towards you. Tell you what, I've done this in the age group video as well. It felt really easy. So actually, that for you guys, that's going to be a really great indicator of what work you need to do. If you imagine end of a training session, middle of a competition, when fatigue starts to set in, start trying to figure out what work you can do to try and maintain flexibility as you get tired. Just recheck quickly. Other side, straight lead leg. not as good. Into hip. See if I rotated. Gonna cheat a little bit, I'll be honest. Rotated over. So use both hands to make sure that you stay even on that check. And then make sure that your knee is as straight as it can be. So for this one, if you're on your right side, hook it over the top of your left leg. Let it do the moving for you. Bit odd, but you'll relax more if you're kicking the leg around because muscles are going to tense up to create movement. Swap over. So some of these foam rolling movements, they're going to be split between what's effective for the skill or the stroke and what's effective for helping the muscles you work to recover. So all the squats, etc. You can go either way. So either do a mix of both or do the one you need most. And then we'll go with the lats. So hips off the floor for extra pressure. And then swap over. And then be careful, so again, if you're starting to incorporate some shoulder stuff with this lat rolling, make sure your hips are on the floor. You probably don't want all your body weight bearing down on your rotator cuff. But if you are trying to do rotator cuff, I'd probably have the roller go across your body, so from back to front rather than where it is normally. And then we'll go chest to finish off. So try and see if you can replicate those fly arm recoveries from the warm up without twisting your chest too much. And then swap sides. And just remember, as you're doing this, you want to clench your fist. And then stop. So skill wise, half an hour for the challenge. May as well be focusing on that mobility for starts, mobility for turns. Start of lockdown, we started treating it as a chance to develop athletic skills, but a lot of the work you're doing now is going to help you get there. So use this opportunity to work on the nuts and bolts of it. So if you're struggling to find that a solid position from that, like we're used to, start reintegrating that. Commit to doing any like hamstring raises, mobility work that you've been doing across the course of the last few weeks. See how you get on. Give me feedback. If people think they need a specific circuit for it, I can create one if need be. But only if it's going to be effective, because you want to be smart with your time there. And then that'll do. Have fun with your aerobic sessions, NPS, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for watching live. Have a great day.